Hello everyone, this video is about configuring DHCP and DNS server. So we'll begin by configuring the DHCP server. So we'll go to the server, on start, we go to server manager and we want to add a role. Click on add roles, next, and select it from one of the roles, next. And if you look at the left hand side here, these are all the settings that will be required to set up the DHCP server. So click on next, and here you can select the network connection bindings, and we're going to leave it as this one because only one we have, and you click next. Here we can specify the DNS server settings, so we leave it as parent domain, which is test.com, and the preferred DNS server IP address. Click on next, and we leave it as the default. Win is not required for application on this network. Next, and here we can add the DHCP scope, but we will not do this at this point. We'll do that in later configuration of this server. So we can click on next, and we will disable DHCP 6 stateless mode for this server. So click on next, and we'll leave it at this the default option, use current credentials. Click on next and install. Alright, now we can click close and close this window also. Now if we go to the start button and administrative tools, we should be able to see the DHCP in the snapping here. As you can see, it's here. We will just select it, and at the left here is our server. So to expand the server, and we would be using the IPv4 version. So to expand the IPv4, and we can right click on IPv4 and we want to add a new scope. Click on next, and we'll type a name for the scope. We'll type human resource, or you could type any name you want, and next. Now here is where we define the scope, so we could select any range from 1 to 255. So we could type in 192.168.0, and we'll start the scope. You range from 10. Now we would not be using 1 because 1 was already assigned to the server, and the end IP address would be ended at we would end it at let's say 80. We will click next, and here is where we can exclude certain IP addresses. Now we would not have anything to exclude, so we'll click next. We leave it as the default settings here. Next again. Yes, I want to configure this option now, and click next. Now at this part of the setup wizard, we are given an option to specify routers or default gateways to be distributed by this scope. Now we would not be adding any router, so we'll click next. Here we are required to add the parent domain, so we'll do that. And the server name, and we'll resolve. As you can see, it, the IP address is added here. You can add it, add, and next. We are not using Win servers, so we'll click next. And yes, I want to activate the scope now. Click next and finish. Now as you look here, you can see the scope that we have created here. So if we expand this, look at so can you focus on the address pool? As you can see here, the start IP address and the end IP address, start at 10 and end at 80. If you have no address leases, reservations, and the scope options, as you can see, domain name standard and test.com. Now we'll go to the client machine, click on network and sharing center. Manage network connections, and we'll double click on local area network connections and go to properties. Select internet protocol version 4, go to properties, and instead of using the following IP address, we'll obtain an IP address automatically. So we'll select this one and click OK. Close and close. Now once you have configured the settings properly, it should obtain an IP address within the range that we have selected. So that's it for configuring DHCP servers. Now for the DNS server configuration, go to Start, Administrative Tools, and select DNS and Snapping. And this here is our server name. We expand this, and you can see forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. Now I already configured my forward lookup zone, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll go through it one more time. So you right click on forward zone, new zone, next, and we allow the zone type as primary zone, next, and we leave the default setting here also, next, and you can type the zone name here, test.com, next, and we'll want to allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates, next, and finish. Now I will cancel here and go back to reverse lookup zone, new zone, next again, and primary zone, next, leave the default as it is, and obviously we are using IPv4, so we leave the default as that, next, and here we want to type in the first 3 parts of the IP address, that's 0, next, and also allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates, next, and finish. Now we go back to the forward lookup zone, expand, and right click on test.com, and what we want to do is add a new host. So I would type www, as you can see here, fully qualified domain name, and the IP address 192.168.0.1, and what we want to do is check create associated pointer record and add host. As you can see here, the host record www.test.com was successfully created. OK, and done. Now we'll go to reverse lookup zone, expand, and as you can see here, the associated pointer is created from the IP address to the host name. Now to test our configuration to see if we have configured it properly, we go to the server, right click, and launch NSLookup. As you can see here, the default server www.test.com and the address 192.168.0.1. Now if we also type www.test.com, we should see the result also here. Also, we type in the IP address, and we should see also the name of the host name and the IP address. So that's it for configuring DHCP and DNS server. Thanks again for watching.